This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up, back with another one. Today I'm showing you Dame Dash responding to Jim Jones. Check this clip out.
That Jim Jones did, and he said that you're not a boss, you're a worker. What do you have to say about that?
You know, someone called me about that, and I laughed because it's ridiculous, but I felt like Jim must have been giving me an alley-oop to front on him, so I will.
Okay, so, you're invited. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. When I was 15-year-old, in, I would guess their perspective, because he was a young man, I was big time to him, because I was 15-year-old, and I was doing things that most 15-year-olds weren't doing. And the people that he's rapping about in a lot of his records, like Rich Porter and Lou Sims, these are people I actually used to hustle with. Now, at 15, I'm not going to say I was a legend at hustling. I wasn't. I was 15. But the people that we were looking up to, by the time I got to their age, I had definitely made more money than them, and I was more impactful as it relates to culture, because it wasn't being known for selling drugs. I was never known for selling drugs. But what you won't do, you could ask Lou Sims if he ever sent me to the store, or ask anybody that you know that was in that world that ever sent me to the store. See, I never hustled with Jim, and I don't think he ever bought a car till it was with rap money. It was never a street thing. Okay. I knew him as Jomo, and it's not a bad thing. It was his name, and he was like an 8-year-old, like a younger kid running around with a clip-on tie, and he lived in 1199 at Dave's house, because I guess they're, whatever it was, he lived. So I never really knew him as, like, growing up. He was always a little kid. Yeah. But Fredo, Cameron brought him around, and I was like, why are you with Jomo? And he was like, well, and he admitted this, well, he has a crib we go to, we just using him, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, all right, it's Jomo. But he's done what he's had to do. But, you know, he wasn't there to say that. But if he can say that, like Dookie, I used to hustle with Dookie. He was my lieutenant.
Not Dookie. I thought he was calling the man Dookie.
Yeah, you were wrong. Pause.
Pause.
Dookie, Duke the God is, we call him Dookie, Paul. Okay. Duke the God is with the Dipset. I used to hustle with him. Okay. You could ask him if he ever seen someone send me to the store, but I was always known in the position as somewhat of a boss, and all I did was pass the plug to them. They were like, they always looked up to me at that time.
Bringing up decades-old labels at this stage feels unnecessary. Dame keeps it calm and doesn't play into it, which already says a lot.
But I was never big time as a drug dealer, but I did have a crew called The Best Out, and we were the youngest crew, and we were legendary. We was all getting money. Yeah. But again, I'm pretty impressed with who I am and who I was and the things I did, and the fact that the people rap about are the people that I actually hustle with and actually was able to go another direction. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for him, he knows the algorithm. Yeah. And, you know, when you say Dame Dash, you go viral. And I was going to ask you if that, do you think that was saying that
a reason for
so
it?
That he could, so that I could actually have a reason to talk about who I was and tell people to look under the hood. But if you know a 15, 16-year-old, and another thing is because I used to hang out uptown. So people from downtown, I'm from 1199, they weren't usually allowed to go uptown and hustle. And I was on one of the wildest blocks on the, you know, at the time in Harlem. So I got to make it out of a real circumstance. I didn't wait to get the rap to start to get money. I didn't wait to get the rap to start being tough. None of those things. And, you know, you can look under the hood. So I appreciate him bringing it up.
So
and you can, to the extent that I've made my Paid in Full, the OG stories, it's about my friends. The people, like, again, y'all making records about Rich, but he really did hit us with work. I was there. If you wasn't there, it's hard to talk about it. To be obsessed and infatuated in such a way that you think to be a person is to go to jail, get killed, and be famous for a very short run, that's not what I wanted to be known for. But you could find somebody that sent me to the store, I'd like to know.
What's up? So what are my thoughts about this? Here's the thing. Dame Dash responded calmly and focused on context, maturity, and time. He pointed out that these comments reach back decades to a period when people were younger, moving differently, and figuring things out. The bigger takeaway is accountability with age. When someone is approaching 50, revisiting teenage labels does not add value to present conversations. Dame framed it as growth versus nostalgia, not denial versus acceptance. He did not escalate, posture, or personalize it. He stayed centered on where life experience should place someone now. There is also a broader lesson about legacy. Conversations about past roles often ignore how environments, access, and opportunities shift over time. People evolve, partnerships change, and history gets compressed into sound bites. That can blur perspective. Dame's response leaned on the idea that progress should be measured by what someone builds, sustains, and contributes today, not by recycled descriptions from youth. Make sure to drop a comment, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.